What's going on, Gator Pit fans? This is Ritch Robin, owner and founder of Gator Pit of Texas Custom Barbecue Pits, and I'm going to walk you through my good friend Andrew up in Colorado. Andrew, thank you for ordering these big badass meat slingers. Again, Andrew up in Colorado, I want to say thank you. And we have two meat slingers. These are the Meat Slinger 24s. They have the hopper on them. They have the offset fireboxes added to them. These are identical cookers. D-rings, stainless steel cool touch handles. We do have 2 gauges per door. The gauges are on because we're going to be shipping these. The gauges are packaged inside. And inside these big old bad meat slingers, you've got a lot of meat racks, guys. Look at all these meat racks. You've got multi-level positions. You can interchange these racks top to bottom. Any rack will fit in any slot. These are the temperature gauges, the Gator Pit gauges that go inside. These are commercial gauges. I'll pull them out and show them to you here if you see them in all my other videos. These are commercial made barbecue gauges, and they are able to be recalibrated, as you see right there. These are heavy duty gauges, guys. Gator Pit logos, color coded for your temperature ranges. Cool gauges. Anybody can buy these gauges, by the way. You can order them online at my website, gatorpit.net. Down below, we've got a thick 11 gauge heat shield that covers your stainless steel fire pot. Above the heat shield, you have a 11 gauge grease pan that channels all the grease down towards the ball valve drain down there. And you can see the yellow handle on that ball valve. Opens and closes with a quarter turn. Again, there's a fire pot right in the middle of this, and the heat is distributed under and around the heat shield and over and around the grease pan that's in there. The grease pan and the heat shield are both easily removable. We do make the heat shield lock on these particular models because these can go in trailers. All right, so if you're going to be putting these in trailers, let us know. We will make the heat shields actually lock in place. The grease pans come locking on all the cookers already. 1/4 inch thick steel, thick stuff, reinforced, 1/4 inch thick flat bar, reinforcing that door, keeping it from warping on you on heat. Fully flanged on the box itself, and the door itself is flanged as well around. Heavy duty hinges. We make these hinges ourselves. And of course, all your meat racks are framed out in angle, extra strength, flat meat racks, and these are completely welded as well. All right. You've got your RTD probe. And some of you don't know what an RTD probe is. That's the temperature probe or temperature stem that picks up the cooking temperature, ambient temperature, and tells the controller over here, your PID controller, what the cook temp is in there, right? So you set your controller to whatever temperature you want, 225, 250, 275. It pumps pellets in the fire pot. Fire pot gets hot, gets to temp plus or minus 5-10 degrees over that set temp, and it will maintain that temperature all day long, all night long for those all-night cooks. 35-pound Smoke Daddy hoppers. Those are 35-pound Smoke Daddy hoppers. Pellet Pros, you can look them up online and get more details on the hoppers as well, or you can go to my website at gatorpit.net. I have full descriptions of the hoppers themselves. These are PID controllers. If you want a PID controller, anything else sucks. I'm just going to call it what it is. Any other type of controller, if it's not a PID controller, it's going to suck. It's going to fluctuate, spike, it's going to go, temperature is going to be all over the place. These controllers keep this thing plus or minus 5-10 degrees of your set temperature. And they'll run that all day long, guys. You do have meat thermometer or probe ports here to run your wired thermometers. You do get a meat thermometer probe that comes with your hopper. You get that standard, and you can read it on your PID controller. Stick it in your brisket or whatever your meat is. Push the button on the control panel, and it'll tell you what the meat temperature is. You get one of those standard with them. Birdhouse stack. Open it full, close it, and anywhere in between. What else we got on here, guys? Oh man, offset firebox. Check it out. Thick steel, removable fire grate. Again, 1/4 inch thick slide air vents, 1/4 inch thick fire grate in there as well. 1/4 inch thick plate all the way around, fully flanged door. Fire up your offset smoker. Cook 3 or 4 hours with your offset using real wood logs. After that, let it burn down and fire up the hopper side and let the hopper finish your cook and let it run all day or all night and not even touch it. That's gonna get you that real wood smoked flavor, smell in your meat, because that meat's only gonna take that on about the first 3 to 4 hours as it's cooking. Everything else after that can go by the hopper, or you can just fire the hopper up. That is real wood pellets that goes in there, right? But I'm gonna tell you, those real wood pellets still do not put out quite the same amount as the smoke flavor or smoke as a real wood stick split cut wood fire gives you. All right, there is a slight difference in the two. Also, it serves as a backup. Let's just say you're catering power, you don't have a generator craps out on you. You can always cook with wood or charcoal and finish your cookout. And if you're on a catering job on site somewhere, you're not panicking because you don't have power. That's another reason why I designed this. It's a backup to the hopper, or it's the hopper by firing it up, putting that real cut split wood log smoke in there, and then letting the hopper finish it out. What else we got on here, guys? I got a little front shelf, a little drop shelf. We do have the D-rings. Got locking foot brakes, heavy duty commercial 2x6-inch casters. These are polycaster. They don't crack, break, peel. They don't deteriorate in the sunlight. They are UV protected. They're made to last, guys, made to last. We do have locking mechanisms, locking doors on here. Again, putting this thing in a trailer. You want the doors to lock so you don't have to worry about accidental opening going down the highway. And there's a push-pull handle right here. So that's about it on these Meat Slingers with the offset fireboxes and the 35-pound Smoke Daddy pellet hoppers on them. Multiple food racks in there. They do come standard with 4 sliding meat racks. Obviously, Andrew in Colorado put a lot more meat racks in there to increase his capacity and his versatility or utility of cooking different varieties of meat at the same time. Meat, you know, meat's different sizes, right? But he's got the ability to cook anything he wants and move his racks around as he needs to cook whatever that cut of meat is. Move out the way there, there you go. Very nice. Guys, I'm Ritch Robin. Go to my website at gatorpit.net. You'll see these models on my website, again, at gatorpit.net. This is the Meat Slinger 24. I've got a Meat Slinger 36, which is larger than this. And these are great for concession trailers, food trucks. They can be vented. The stacks can be modified to be able to stovepipe them out of a building in a restaurant or a cook shack at a restaurant or your concession trailer or food truck. I've got one of these in the back of my Gator Pit catering trailer. Y'all probably seen many videos of me cooking with that as well. I love it. I don't have the offset firebox, but I'm going to be adding that to my Meat Slinger over there, mainly for the reasons of that backup in case I lose power. I can still continue cooking and keeping my food warm. Very important when you're out in the field, guys. That's about it. I've got several of these out there. I designed these back around 2015, and we just put them in production, I don't know, a few months back. But they were designed on paper and computer back in 2015, and I just got around to building them. That's how it goes, man. A lot of designs, a lot of stuff I just can't get to. Call me at gatorpit.net. I'm Ritch Robin. See ya.